Okay, be honest. How many times have you asked ChatGPT or Claude to analyze your sales data, loved what you got, and then asked it to do the same thing next month, and it gave you something completely different? Different formatting, different sections, different metrics emphasized. It's like AI had amnesia and can't remember what you asked for last time. And here's the worst part. You end up spending more time trying to wrangle the AI back into the format you want than if you'd just done it manually in the first place. But what if I told you there's a way to lock AI into giving you almost identical reports every single time? Same structure, same calculations, same formatting. 90% consistency month after month without begging or reprompting. Today I'm showing you the exact system I use to force Claude to generate consistent monthly sales reports. And no, this isn't about prompt engineering or writing a novel-length prompt every time. This is about building a system that works in the background so you never have to think about it again. I'm Rob Fernango. I spent 26 years in data science and analytics, including building AI systems, and my mission is simple. Help small business owners use AI to tackle real business problems without all the hype and BS. On this channel, I test AI tools in real-world scenarios with real business problems. I show you the wins, the epic failures, and the holy crap don't try this at home moments. Because your success is my mission, and that means giving you the truth and not another sales pitch. So let's talk about why AI is so inconsistent with reports in the first place. Now, when you give AI a vague instruction like analyze my sales data, you're basically asking it to be creative. And AI is really good at being creative. Too good, actually. Every time you ask, it might calculate different metrics, emphasize sections differently, structure things differently, use different chart types, or format your tables inconsistently. It's like having an analyst who reinvents their entire reporting methodology every single month. Now, you could write an incredibly detailed prompt every time. Use these exact metrics, this exact format, these exact sections. But that's exhausting, and the prompt would be so long you'd spend 10 minutes copying and pasting and adjusting it every single month. But there's a better way. And it uses two features in Claude that most people completely overlook: custom instructions and project knowledge files. Think of it like giving your AI a job description and an operations manual that stays active in every conversation. You set it up once, and it just works. All right, here's the big picture before we dive into the details. This system has two parts that work together. Part one are custom instructions. This is like your AI's job description. It tells Claude you are a business analyst. Here's what you do when users upload data. Here's your step-by-step process. Part two are project knowledge files. This is like your operations manual. It's a detailed specification document that defines every single metric, every section, every formatting detail, right down to font sizes and colors if you want. So here's what happens. Custom instructions tells Claude what to do and how to approach tasks. Project knowledge tells Claude exactly how to execute when the task is a sales report. So together, they create strong guardrails that significantly limit Claude's tendency to improvise. Instead of giving you something different every time, it follows a detailed checklist. Now let me show you how each piece works. So let's start with custom instructions. Now, in Claude, you can set custom instructions at the project level, meaning they're active for every conversation in that project. So here's what mine look like for this sales report generator project. Now, I'm not going to read you this line by line. You'll be able to see the structure, but let me point out the key sections that make this work. First, the role definition. Right at the top, I tell Claude you are a professional business analyst creating consistent formatted sales reports. This sets the identity and the expectations. Second, I give it a task breakdown. I give Claude a 6-step process. Step 1 is the intake, what info to ask for. Step 2 is validation, to check the data. In step 3, we perform the analysis and calculate the metrics. And then in step 4, we get to document generation. This is creating the report. Then in step 5, we have quality control that runs checks. And in step 6, it's the delivery, handing the document, the final report over to the user. Now, this is crucial because it stops Claude from jumping straight to, here's your answer. It follows a workflow just like a human analyst would. Now, the third section we get to are rules and guidelines. I have explicit do's and don'ts. Do follow the specification precisely. Don't add sections not in the spec. Do run quality checks before delivery. Don't modify metric formulas. It's just a rule book for Claude to play by. Fourth, we get into user interaction guidelines and scripts. This is really helpful. I actually give Claude pre-written responses for common scenarios. If data is uploaded without instructions, ask X. If required fields are missing, respond with Y. And if a user wants formatting changes, explain Z. This means Claude isn't improvising how it communicates with you. It's consistent in how it asks for the information and how it handles problems. So those are the custom instructions in a nutshell. They're the brain that tells Claude how to think and behave, but it's only half the system. The real magic is in the knowledge file. This is where you can upload documents that Claude can reference in every conversation within a project. And this is my specification document. It's a markdown file, which is basically a text document with some formatting, and it's 2,400 words of incredibly detailed instructions. So let me show you what's inside, because this is where you're going to lock in that consistency. Now in section 1, we start with metric definitions. Every single calculation is defined with the exact formulas. And these are very simplified formulas, right? So for example, one formula for total revenue, you've got the sum of the amount where the status of the order equals completed and the order date is in the current period. We format it with a $ and comma separators and 2 decimal places. And then we provide an example for $2,385.74. And I do this for every single metric: revenue, orders, average order value, customer segments, everything. There's no ambiguity. Claude knows exactly what to calculate and exactly how to format it. Now in section 2, we start talking about document structure. This defines every section of the report in order. You can see that we've got a title page here with exact font sizes even, 28 points for the title, 14 points for a subtitle. There's an executive summary section that says it's supposed to have exactly 3 bullet points, no more, no less. We have a key metrics dashboard section that has exactly 5 rows in a very specific order, from total revenue, total orders, average order value, etc. Then we include a revenue analysis section with required subsections. There's a series of product performance charts that get included. And then we get down to recommendations. And you get exactly 3 recommendations formatted as a numbered list. Finally, we include a methodology section on a new page with a page break. And for each section, I specify headings, styles, font sizes, what must be included, even example templates for how to phrase things. Now, section 3 is all about formatting standards, and this part gets pretty granular. I specify things like the font family being Calibri, table styles such as grid table 1 light, accent 1, color codes for status indicators, spacing and margins, number formatting for every metric type. The more specific you are here, the less room Claude has to improvise, and less improvisation equals more consistency. So between custom instructions and this specification document, I've basically created an operations manual that governs how Claude generates these reports, and it works really well. So let me give you a real-world example of why this matters. Let's say you're running an e-commerce business doing $50,000 a month in revenue. In the old way, at the end of each month, you'd spend a few hours or several hours exporting data from your store, opening a spreadsheet, manually calculating metrics, writing up your insights, and formatting everything to look professional for your records. Or you try using AI, but you get something different every time. You spend an hour fixing and reformatting. Now, with this system, you're going to export your data in about 5 minutes. You'll upload it to Claude in about 30 seconds. You're going to type create my monthly report for give it a month and a year. And then you're going to review the output and take about 10 minutes to make sure that everything looks right. Your total time doing this is going to be about 15 to 20 minutes for a professional and consistent looking report. That's 2.5 hours saved every month. That's 30 hours a year, almost a full week of work. And if your time is worth $100 an hour, that's $3,000 a year in time saved annually. And honestly, the bigger the value is in the mental energy you save not having to think about this every month. But now it's time for the no BS portion of the video. The system isn't for everyone. Here's when it doesn't make sense. You don't want to use this system if your data structure changes dramatically every month. If you need reports with complex visualizations that AI can't generate well. If you want 100% perfection with zero human review, this system will get you to about 90%, but not 100%, which we'll talk about in a moment. If you need real-time automated reports without any human review. And if you're not willing to spend a few hours to set up the system. This is for business owners who want consistent monthly reporting, are willing to invest a bit of time up front, and are okay with Claude doing 90% of the heavy lifting while you do a final 10% review. If this sounds like you, the system's incredible. If not, no worries. There are other tools and approaches that might fit better. All right, if you're finding this valuable, and if you're thinking, yes, I want consistent reports from my AI, do me a favor and hit that like button. It tells YouTube to show this to more business owners who need it. And if you want more systems like this, ways to make AI actually reliable and predictable for your business, hit that subscribe button. I release new video every week on AI, analytics, and automation for small businesses. Now let me show you this system in action. Now let's generate an actual report so you can see this work. I'm in my monthly sales report generator project. The custom instructions are already set. The knowledge file is already uploaded. And I don't need to do anything with those. They're just sitting here working in the background. So now what I need to do is upload a CSV file. I'm uploading my sales data from Q1 2024. It's just a CSV file with transaction records. And I'm just going to say now a very simple prompt. My data are in the attached CSV file. Please analyze March 2024. Now, Claude immediately knows what to do. It's validating the data, calculating the metrics, generating the Word document, and following the exact structure from the specs. It's applying all the formatting, and then it's going to run the quality checks. And there it is. The report's ready. Let's go ahead, open it up, and we'll take a look inside. Okay, we can see by looking at this, when we look at the title page, we see it's formatted correctly for March 2024 sales analysis. The executive summary has exactly 3 bullets and insights about the data. We get into the key metrics dashboard, which has exactly 5 rows. All metrics have been calculated. We've got the status arrows showing up and down just as we wanted with the table note at the bottom to explain what those arrows are. We see the revenue analysis, which includes narrative sections and insights, both overall trends and customer satisfaction. Then we've got our performance charts, and here we can see the Q1 2024 revenue trend, revenue by category of product, as well as the March 2024 customer distribution for new and returning customers. And then we get into the recommendations, and we have our exactly 3 numbered and actionable recommendations. Then following a page break, we've got our methodology with showing the data source, the time period, the exclusions, and the comparison baseline against February of 2024. When we go back and look at some of this, we can look at the details and see how Claude followed our instructions. We can see that the fonts are all Calibri. That table is using a grid table style. The spacing is consistent. I mean, this is really a professional report that I could hand to a business partner or show to an advisor, and it really only took a few minutes to generate. Now let me show you the real power and the consistency across multiple runs. So I've generated this report multiple times with different data sets, and let me show you what I mean by 90% consistency. Let's look at the structure, at least across a couple of these different formats. We have the same sections, the same order. They're identical in that regard. So we can see that these are all clearly identical. We've got the performance charts included here. You notice here that they might be formatted just a little bit differently, but it's got the same information, the same data. So they're all in there, right? We've got the same number of bullet points that we asked for in our knowledge document and in our specifications. You can see that those recommendations are largely the same, even though the wording might just be a little bit different. It's structured just slightly differently, but it's basically giving the same information. And you'll notice too that the calculations, while in some places they might be rounded instead of showing all the decimal points, but they are the same calculations using the same formulas. And so we end up with consistent calculations and consistent numbers, right? And the differences that we have here are differences that are relatively minor. We might have one report that emphasizes new customer growth more in the narrative, or one that uses slightly different phrasing for, say, recommendation 2. As I noted before here, we've got a slight difference in the reports or in the formatting of these charts, but functionally, these are the same report. And anyone looking at these would immediately recognize that they're coming from the same system and following the same standards. You're not getting wildly different outputs from this approach. You're getting consistent, professional reports with natural language that adapts to your actual data. So here's the thing. What I've shown you today is the framework, the what and the why of how the system works. You understand the two-part architecture, custom instructions plus knowledge documents. And you've seen enough of the how that you know it's feasible. You can absolutely build something like this right now. But here's what I didn't show you. The complete specification document with all 2,400 words line by line. The exact custom instructions that I use in my system prompt. I didn't show you how to iteratively develop these with Claude for your specific data, or to show the troubleshooting steps when something doesn't quite work right. I didn't show how to modify the spec as your business needs change, or all the other automations like this that I use in my business. These are all inside my AI Growth Accelerator membership. When you join, you get the full sales report generator template, specification document, the custom instructions for the system prompt, ready to customize for your business. You'll get step-by-step video walkthroughs on setting this up in your Claude or ChatGPT account. And you'll get my template library with other AI automation systems just like this. You'll also get implementation support from me. You can ask questions, share your data structure, and I'll help you adapt these systems to your specific need. This is for business owners who are done fighting with AI and ready to make it actually work for their business, who want systems, not scattered prompts, who want reliability, not randomness. Now, if that's you, click the link in the description to check out the AI Growth Accelerator. There's a 7-day free trial so you can test everything risk-free. And look, even if you don't join, you now understand how to think about building consistent AI systems. Custom instructions plus knowledge files. That mental model alone is going to change how you use AI. Thanks for watching this video. I'll see you in the next one where we're going to be breaking down the exact prompting framework I teach inside my membership. Now don't forget to like, subscribe, and if you want the templates for this system, the link is right below. I'll see you in the next video.